Hello, hello. I'm sat by the ocean. I'm waiting for some friends, so I thought I'd come on and do a little live. And I'm not sure I've actually done a live about crystal and indigo children before, but that's what this one's going to be about. So the whole aura transformation thing I do is basically an upgrade of the aura structure to match that of the indigo and crystal children. So it's quite a meaty topic. If anyone's watching, can you let me know that you can hear me and that the quality's all right? Because I am outside by the sea. Yeah, just let me know. Mommy, let me know. Yeah, so I just wanted to do a little thing about indigo and crystal children. And there's this whole, we've been talking about the shift in consciousness, the big awakening, the change in the big shift in the astrological, I don't even know the right words, there were 26,000 years, the cycle moves. The Mayans talked about the end of the world. There was the 2012 Armageddon. There's a whole thing. Everyone's awakening much faster. The children are different. All this stuff. It's exactly like what aura transformation is reflecting back, basically. It's just part of that movement. Thanks, guys. Yay. So when you have an aura transformation, we are dissolving what we call the old aura and integrating the crystal indigo aura. So what that actually means is that there's been a shift in the way that our auras work. So, that sounds really complicated, and I might lose some of you, and that's okay. I have done quite a lot of videos about aura transformation, but not so much about them, because I guess some people might be quite skeptical about that whole idea. So if you're a parent, and let me know if you agree, have you noticed a difference in maybe if you're a grandparent, if you notice a difference in children, or teacher, if you've noticed a difference in children over the last 24 years or so. And I think what's happening is that children have been born with aura structures that function in a different way than the adults of today. And so in about 1987 is the kind of cutoff period with aura transformation that we call the old aura. So if you were born before 1987, I was born in 81, so I had an old aura. And this is, having an aura transformation would be about dissolving this old aura and integrating the indigo or crystal aura. So children born after 1987 till about 92 or so, we call them the transition kids. And transition kids have like 1 foot in the old aura. They still have astral layer, they still maybe have ancestral imprints, they maybe still have the etheric layer, but they have a lot of indigo energy. And being a transition child born between 87 and 92 is actually really tough. They have the hardest time, I suppose, in the kind of world we're living in now. I mean, a lot of people in the old aura are struggling too, because there's been this change in frequency for the whole planet when these indigo kids came in. And indigo, basically, it's a quality of the energy. So the indigo energy has a particular quality. If you're able to see energy, it might have a slightly indigo color. And then the crystal aura, which were kids born about 2004, 2007 onwards, they have the crystal aura, and again, that's got its own quality. And when you have an aura transformation, then you would have wow, lots of hearts. Thank you. Where was I? I got distracted. Stop with the heart. Wait, so the quality of the energy is different. So when you have an aura transformation, and when I had one, I really can feel there's this, I could even see it actually at the very beginning. I could really feel it on myself, and sometimes I catch it kind of like, you can turn around really quickly and you see it, or if you get excited you might see this kind of pinky, crystalline, very beautiful, clear energy. And when people meet someone that's had an aura transformation, or when two people meet that have had aura transformations and they can see it on each other and they can feel that energetic clarity. So what distinguishes an old aura, an indigo aura, and a crystal aura is the one of the things would be that the higher self, your spirit energy, is way out of the body. It's like almost, it's like, I used to feel it like a string floating above. I did eventually have quite a good connection and conception of my higher self before I had an aura transformation, but it was out there. When you have the aura transformation, or if you are an indigo adult, young adult now, your higher self is around the body. If you're a crystal child, or if you have a crystal child, or if you have an aura transformation and you've crystallized, then you have your higher self embodied into every single cell in your body. So it's not just some children are special and are crystal and some are indigo and are special. How in our viewpoint, in our myth or belief system, there's every child born after that certain, like 2004, 2007, there's no line in the sand, but every child born after that is a crystal child. So every child under this certain age is crystal, and everyone born between 92 and 2007-ish or something like that, I can't remember exactly, they're indigo children, pure indigos. So being around crystal adults that have had aura transformations or crystal children, it's hugely balancing. And having your higher self in your body, so when these children are born with their higher selves already embodied in the body, they have a much clearer sense of themselves, of justice, of a sense of justice, and also they're just very comfortable in their own energy, and they're not so bothered about interacting with things that don't suit their energy or that don't concern them on the outside. Whereas an indigo has her higher self outside the body, so it's not embodied yet, and the having your higher self or your spirit energy outside the body, and this indigo life mission, which is about justice, is you basically when you have the indigo energy, or you go through the stage after an aura transformation of maybe being more indigo, you have a lot more resistance with the world around you if you don't feel that it is just. So if you feel imbalance, or you feel anger, or that the world isn't right, and you feel like you want to rattle the cage, you want to protest, you want to scream from the rafters, you feel ill with the sickness of the world, then that's a lot of indigo energy. Okay, another point actually is that you can be an adult with an old aura and have a lot of indigo energy or a lot of crystal energy. And again, it's a quality of energy. So there is a distinction to be made between having a particular energy that you express in the world and having the aura structure. So having an aura transformation, we're dealing with the aura structures, and there is a fundamental shift in the energy you kind of put out into the world as you crystallize, which is embody your higher self in your body. So wait, there's a question. What if you were born in 1984? 84. So that's you have the old aura, Tim. So you're born before 1987. So you have the old aura, which would be higher self outside the body, connected, but not necessarily. You're not embodied like a crystal child. And you have the etheric layer, the protective layer of the aura. You have an astral body, and you're connected to the collective consciousness through the lower mental layer of the aura. So there's a lot of people with the old aura have a lot of mental activity from the collective, so there's a lot of collective noise, and it's connected to the head. When you're an indigo, you're connected to the collective consciousness, but via the aura body, so the higher self, and it's almost like your spirit energy and higher self connected to the collective consciousness, which means you feel injustice physically rather than maybe mentally in the old aura. It's just quite heavy stuff, but if you're following me, wicked. When you crystallize, or you're a crystal child, you're not connected to the collective consciousness mentally or physically. You can see it, you can be part of it, but it's not attached to the way that the aura functions. So I just wanted to do a little shout out really to the whole indigo crystal energy, basically. My daughter's name is Indigo. It's beautiful. So I remember when I had my aura transformation, things are a bit different now. When you have an aura transformation, you kind of speed through indigo or not at all, and you go straight to crystalline now, crystal aura. But I remember being very much in the indigo aura for about 4 months after my aura transformation, and I really could feel that I was sometimes at loggerheads with the world, you know, like things I'd be like, that's wrong, and I'm not happy about that, and like arguing with like traffic wardens and stuff. Not like just randomly, but because, you know, like some altercation. Whereas when you're crystal, you just kind of sit back and go like, well, is that worth my energy? Probably not. Okay, I'm gonna go make the better, you know, the world that suits me over here. I'm gonna use my energy to make a new world. Whereas if an indigo would go and like fight against the old world and really want to make a difference. So with this whole, we're coming back to the beginning, this whole shift in consciousness that we are all experiencing, that we've all been waiting for, that has been prophesized forever. It's the children. The children have brought that energy, the crystal energy, onto the planet as they're born here. So, and the indigos came first because they're like the avant-garde. They came to blow stuff up. And so, you know, we should all be thankful to our rebellious, maladjusted, twinkly indigos, because they're not wrong. Indigos have a really deep sense of balance in themselves, and they're just expressing it physically or emotionally, that this isn't right, I'm not happy about this, the way you're behaving isn't right, or the way the school is run isn't right. So the indigo might break out, you know, or you know, like, I don't know, like become ill or have some sort of, you know, feel depressed or something like that. So they actually react physically when they don't feel something is right, whereas a crystal wouldn't react in the same way. So if any more questions, happy to answer them. I'm just gonna reflect a moment and see if I wanted to say any more. Well, basically, having an aura transformation is a way of upgrading your aura structure to the latest evolution in auras on the planet, so that you match the frequency of the crystal children that are already here. And another magical thing is that the children born 2013 onwards, 2013 and onwards, they're crystallized auras, they're embodied, their higher self is embodied, one big heart chakra, but the golden energy of the planet can really move through them in a way where, how I see it, is that the Earth's dream and your dream can align. So having the crystalline structure really allows you to not only really like channel through your purpose and your dharma, but to work with Earth as well. Annie Senov has lots of books on all this. So The Balance on All Levels is the main one you'd read before having an aura transformation. She has another one called Golden Earth, Golden Age, I think. So there's plenty of information out there. And Annie Senov did not invent Indigo Crystal Children, but lots of consciousness authors around the planet were all noticing the shift in the indigo children first, as they came first, and then this further evolution with the crystal children. Questions. Do you think there will be another shift or change in the next 5 years? Yeah, well, there's already the one I just mentioned, like the crystal golden children now. There's a section on Annie's, I think it's the AuraTransformation website. There's a section called Crystal Golden Children. And so it's just, you know, I might be losing some of my audience by talking about crystal and indigo children. I don't always talk about it that much because there's no point switching people off. But if you have noticed the shift in me or in others that have had an aura transformation, or just looking and observing at crystal and indigo children and how they function, they are far more embodied and they have far more protection, and they have this big simplistic heart chakra. So having an aura transformation is part of this new shift and new evolution, and I think so important, and I'm going to keep talking about it because I think in the UK particularly, being able to shift all this, we have such a heavy consciousness, like the collective consciousness here is heavy, and we have a lot of water, the water element here, highly emotional, and the history is quite difficult. Our history is not always one to be proud of, and I think that having an aura transformation, each individual that has one is really clearing for the collective, for our children, so that we don't pass on all the shame and the guilt and the lack of power that we've all held. And I think another video I want to make is something I've thought of the other day, was that, you know, energetic, democratic sovereignty, about really owning your energetic space, your heart space, your owning your energy, and really bringing what you've come here to do and come here to learn, really bringing it in here and now, and that every single one of us counts. That's the democratic bit. The sovereign bit is like, take ownership of your energy field and what you're putting out in the world. Construct something beautiful with your life, starting with inside, and pass something that's worthwhile on to all our beautiful crystal indigo children. Tim says, if you had already had a transformation, does that make it easier to adapt or to take on the next change in aura and consciousness, or is every single transformation a really massive shift? Does it? I'm not sure I get the question, actually. Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's much easier to adapt to anything when you've had an aura transformation, because you've got so much more energy in your system, you're much more grounded, you're much more visible to the world, and it's just so much more in your body, and that you can really make things happen, and also that just carrying a lot less weight and baggage emotionally and ancestrally and karmically means it's a lot easier to evolve. Or is every single transformation a really massive shift? I don't really know what that bit means, to be honest. So I can't answer the second part of your question. Can you hear the ocean? Oh, hello everyone. I'm just going to sit here for a minute and see if there's any more questions, or if anything else comes to me about... I mean, I did... Why did the structure change? I'm going to talk about what I just thought of as what happened with my daughter when I had an aura transformation, is that she noticed within about 2-3 days, and I was able, it was the first time we really saw each other. She was 6 years old, and my higher self being in my body, hers already in her body, and all of my non-existent aura and all the baggage and trauma I was carrying all lifted, and I was in my body, and it was just a total different quality of presence with my daughter, and it felt like we met each other properly for the first time. And it's just been really, it was like a fresh start for both of us. And she used to talk about it all the time, actually, when she was little. And she used to be able to look at people and really be able to say, like, oh, you know, they're ready for an aura transformation, they're not ready, or, you know, they look a lot better now they've had the crystal aura. So it's really cute. She was really open. Oda says, why did the structure change? I was just saying at the beginning of the video that it's the whole big shift in consciousness, the 2012, the Mayan calendar shifting, the astrological shift, the big awakening, all that kind of thing. This is just part and parcel of it. And I think that Earth, Annie talks about this stuff, but Annie Senov, but Earth, it's been kind of organized by different planetary forces, and the old aura functions in a set of ways. It has functions to connect you with others, connections to the ancestry, connections to our past, genetic past, and the new auras are just a lot simpler. And the indigos are Jupiter energy, and the crystals are Venus energy. Jupiter, let's change the world, let's make this change, the avant-garde, and the crystals are the crystals are the love, intelligent, balanced energy. Okay, that was like kind of a mad thing, but there's been a shift. Maybe when you're in Switzerland we can have a massive conversation. I have a lot of questions. Yeah, cool. I'll be there at Christmas, I think. I am going to go because my friends have arrived. So, lovely chatting, and check out my my heart retrieval program I just posted today. I'm really excited about that. And there is one more place on the Aura Mediator course on the 6th of November. So if it's you that is going to be the next wave of Aura Mediators in the UK, get in touch. Lots of love.